Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Podfathers, the best parenting podcast in the universe. It's your pal Clem here. I got the big man beside me, and that's right. Well, the people who are not watching on our brand spanking new YouTube, Barstool Growing Up, you should be, you sons of bitches, can't see that we have a little bit of a different show today. That's right. Daddy Boy Chaps is taking the week off, a week suspension for something. What should we suspend him for?
Just being Chaps.
Just being Chaps. Yeah, that's fair enough. So
I'm playing hurt, by the way.
Yeah.
You see that? As soon as I open up my mouth,
baby.
I sound like shit.
You sound so bad.
I just took an HIV and flu test and a COVID test on the way over. Negative on 2 or 3. Right.
We got my boy Smitty in the house. We once we knew I was coming in for something, I said I got to get Smitty on. We have to do our 1 year in review. We had asked our 10 questions to Smitty. He gave us the answers. We listened to the pod this morning, got all the answers, and then we're going to see what you think of after 1 year of Parenthood, how everything shook out at the time, all the way till now. And then we got our guy Reags here. This is March. So this is Reags. He's joining us today.
Really good hiding from my kid during March.
Exactly. The best fucking Dave Portnoy tells you to fly to this shitty city. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Tell me where to. And you actually get to like sleep in like a decent hotel, I imagine now too, right?
I have slept so phenomenal without a kid running into my room.
Isn't this week the number one weeks or days for what was it? Not circumcision.
Vasectomies.
Yes.
Yep.
This is the
You
number
lay
one.
on the couch.
This is the number 1 week for vasectomies. I'm going to do a couple couple tips for the fellows out there that are getting it done today or tomorrow. I don't know if you get it done Wednesday and then you take off Thursday and Friday, or you get it Thursday and then whatever. But
My buddy did it Masters weekend.
I was going to say, because
Yeah,
you
Masters is good. Yeah, he
you
did
have the
it.
title game Monday night. You can
Yes.
do that to rest up. Do it Tuesday or Wednesday, then you're off Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
I did it in like the middle of a dead part of summer just to get that shit out of me, and I didn't have to worry. It was also during COVID. This guy came with me.
I shaved your balls.
He shaved my balls. Shout out Manscaped. No free ads. And we went about our way. So first order of business. Anyway, updates from home. We always do our updates from home. Large. Any updates from home going on?
Yeah. We're away this weekend for who the fuck's the guy's name? Cons' wedding. So if you guys remember, Cons was on the show a couple months ago. He let me and Clem pick the menu, and we're going to see how we did with the menu. Cons' wife didn't care. She was like, "You guys, you do whatever you want." So he's like, "Do you mind if I give it to Large and Clem?" So we picked the menu for the wedding this weekend. So we got that, and otherwise everybody's good at home. Bridget's got the lead in the play, which is good.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, Mick just did his fashion show, which I hosted. 220 kids getting up there and strutting their shit on the runway. Raised like $90,000 for these spoiled kids to have a party, and everyone's good. Everyone's happy and healthy. How about you?
Everything's all good, man. Everything's all good. My kids, there's like, big moments of your kids' life that you like to be able to see. That's the whole reason we do all this crazy shit. I got to witness for the first time my son and my daughter beat a video game together. They beat Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Switch. And it's one of those things, first time, as soon as AJ wakes up till he goes to bed, he's just talking Luigi's Mansion. So they got the W, and it was like no real help from mom and dad either. That's the good thing about Nintendo. That's why I always tell, if you have young kids, you want to get them video games, start with a Nintendo, because they make that shit. Every game now, so there's a Mario game. There's this little character Nabbit. He can't get hurt. You fucking throw a Koopa shell at him, nothing. Just goes right through him. Can jump up. He just can't fall in lava because they have to make it somewhat of a challenge for the kids. It is just so nice just to fucking plug them in, gets them off of their iPads, off of the TV. We just rotate them around screens basically. So that was a big moment in the Casa de Clem, beating the video games. Coming for that ass, MRags. Are we cool with MRags?
Sure.
I have to make sure, we have the general in the building here. Reags, what's going on in your world right now?
Yeah, so I got the 2.5-year-old son. He is full-on just idiot boy, which is awesome. Just runs into shit at all times and makes me laugh. And the news that I'm on, I announced Camden being born on this podcast, I have another one on the way, due August 10th.
In this market, there's a World War III coming up. Don't you read the fucking papers?
Listen,
everybody else wear a rubber.
I can't help it. I'm 2 for 2 on knocking my wife up after college basketball starts. So it's a timing thing. Yeah. So the second one coming, we find out in about a week if it's a boy or girl, because I don't do surprises.
Okay.
If someone else knows something, I better fucking know.
Right.
Why else? So it's adjusting. We got you mentioned little accolades for kids to see. It's cool. We put Camden into a big boy bed. Got the crib out, potty training, all that stuff. So it's I'm ready. I'm excited to sleep in a hotel.
It's going to be 3-year spacing.
Yeah, almost like 3 years to the day.
That's exactly what I did. We're 17, 14, 11 now. It works out very, very well.
I'm looking forward to it, because boy or girl, it's a good gap to have. It doesn't really matter, for mom and dad. But, I'm happy with 3 years. Same thing, like me and my youngest sibling, my brother, 3 years apart. There's hell in high school. It's better when they get older.
Same. We're 3 between me and my sister, then my sister and my brother, and then CNH are like 3.5. So yeah, that's the way. It's the long play. I'm gonna also play this sound because I couldn't pull it up in time after you made your announcement. You always gotta just second kid.
What an idiot! Yep.
What a fucking idiot!
The and we've said it to basically anyone who's talked about it. 1 to 2 is like, or 0 to 1. It's like a life change. It's just the person you were before kids to the person you have to you are after kids. That person is dead. We'll get into that with Smitty in a little bit.
Really?
But 1 to 2, it's a jump. That's like you're jumping rivers and shit. I feel like 2 to 3 may not be as bad. You could talk to them more than I could, but I feel like 1 to 2, it is something.
Yeah, 1 to 2, you can play man to man. So some people like that better, but I think it's huge. You can't keep your eyes off of them.
Yeah, because one's doing.
Right.
The one's starting to, run around and get into, open up drawers and get into shit that he shouldn't get into.
Right.
Then you get the new one where it's like, when does that one roll over? And you have to be there to make sure, like, it's not, it's in the still same spot.
It doesn't die.
Yeah. Right. Like, it's a lot of responsibility.
2 to 3, you find out which one is easy to ignore.
That's what I'm saying.
Like there's one that you can just sort of, give them a cracker every couple of days and they're good. But 1 to 2, you still got to be on your fucking toes. Best of luck. Congratulations. That's great to hear,
It's
man.
awesome. In all seriousness,
Good
that's
luck,
awesome.
God bless.
Reags.
Yeah.
We'll have you. Well, we didn't do the 10 questions with you because that was before we did it. It was when you had the first one. But we'll do that with the second one, maybe an updated version. And then Smitty. Smitty has a big day coming up in the Casa de Smith.
Yeah, we're 10 months in. We got the first birthday on May 1st, which will be 1 for him and 30 for the wife. So it's a huge day. And very, very, very exciting, the planning process of that. But it's good. Everyone is healthy and happy. We're getting in finally like a routine with him where he's sleeping and he knows like what to expect and what to do, like more than the first 9 months, which was I knew the engine was running, but I wasn't sure if anything was going on behind the wheel.
Yep.
Now he's personable, like he knows like commands, or we're high-fiving now, which is huge. Like I can't stop high-fiving. I'm a big high-five guy.
You're a big high-five guy.
Sometimes he whiffs and hits the face, but that's fine.
That's how I say
high-fiving is the best.
That's how I say goodnight to my kid.
Yeah.
We high five. Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's awesome. It's the best.
It's awesome.
I rock that with all the little kids. The first time like you meet them or whatever, you just go high five. Like that's how you kind of get them to warm up. You know what I mean? You're not gonna even like sometimes with like even family members, it's like hugs a little too much for the little kids. You just go high five and everyone's gravy.
But we're also at the stage, and like I said, the engine's running when no one's running. I joke about that because this kid has always been like phenomenally intelligent and curious. You can just tell. It might not be like the most enigmatic kid in a social situation, but he's always observing. He always knows what's going on. And now he's becoming self-aware where he realizes he has power.
Oh, boy. You're in trouble now.
And if he knows how to do stuff and make sure my wife or I are in a situation where he can end up on top, he is putting himself in that situation.
Little finger.
Yeah, he knows. He knows. And he like points now, and it's like Darth Vader because it's open-handed, and when you rotate him, he doesn't stop pointing. He's just pointing at everything. He just wants it all.
Darth Vader, he puts the hand
not?
out, and whatever he wants, he gets. He's used the Force. He'll be using you, though, instead of using the Force.
Exactly.
So the first birthday is always a big deal, right? Like, you do the family members, you get maybe the nice cake. You go. Do you guys have any plans about what's going to go on?
We're working on it. I am in charge. I am the office party planning committee. So I'm Meredith, I'm Angela, I'm all in one. And unfortunately, I'm essentially Dwight and Jim trying to do it.
Do all that, yep.
Yeah. So initially, I just had the gray balloons and it's your birthday cake. Realized that's probably not the most acceptable thing. So Saturday night, it falls on a weekend. Saturday night, the 30th, we're going to do like a night out with her friends, family, do a nice little restaurant thing, and then Sunday we're going to have the kids' day, and I'm trying to pump the brakes on what my wife's expectations are for it, because originally it was, 50 to 100 people, balloons, a magician that runs the rate of a high-class lawyer. And like I'm trying to explain, I'm like, he's 1 year old. If we book a magician for, a couple $100 an hour, I'm sure he's great. But what he's going to be doing is showing tricks to my dad. And then after a half hour, my dad's just going to be showing tricks to him. Like, there's not going to be much going on.
As much magic
other than that.
But honestly, that might be worth it just to see your dad's reaction.
I would love it. I
would rather see you spend money on the party than the gift. Like I tell people, when my kids were growing up, I think for the first birthday, we got them all the same little plastic goat, just to give them something, and they just threw it away. They had nothing, because you get so much from the relatives, and they don't remember their fucking parties or their gifts. But it's nice for you to have a good time at the party.
Well, and the pictures, the videos that last, not the toys that get passed down from kid to kid, and then to the cousins, and then to the friends, and everything else.
Yeah, we're getting everybody together. Hopefully the weather's nice. You might get a moon bounce still out there, but Daddy's going to be in the moon bounce, so that's an insurance liability. But I mean, between pictures and everything, like it should be a really fun time.
Speaking of feeling good, we're going to go back to a time when Smitty was not a father yet, about to be a father. So I went back. We had you on April 2021. I think you announced it in 2020, and then April 2021 was when the baby was coming down the barrel. And let's take a look here. I'm going to ask you, so we'll go through the same 10 questions, and you kind of give me an update about what happened, how it ended up going, and I'll say what you thought was going to happen.
Oh, I'm sure these will line up magically.
Line up magically, exactly. All right, let's see here. Should I just?
I got it up.
I got it. Here.
I got it.
Do you want me? You want to go back and forth like we did? With
Sure.
Yeah. I'll start off here. Are you prepared for childbirth? Will you look underneath go below the wall during childbirth? Cut the cord. Will you regret it? Loaded question.
I was prepared for childbirth as much as I could. I was there the entire 26 hours of labor.
That's tough.
We had 5 days in the hospital.
5 days.
God bless. I did not look down, and I did cut the cord.
Did you?
Yes.
So you went under, because Smitty's answer was, I wrote it down. You said, she does not want me to look. I will not look. And you said you want to cut the cord. You were looking forward to it. You were worried he might screw it up. You said you would bite into it if you had to, just to get it up.
So did you get to? Was your wife? Did she deliver naturally, or was it a C-section?
It was natural. Epidural, all that. It was
the
a
good
grind.
drugs.
Yeah, it was a grind though. We actually went to the hospital. I would say April 29th. Went to the hospital early in the morning, and they sent us home because the contractions weren't. The contractions were there, but she wasn't dilated enough. And then we went home, and then had to go back.
Oh my
goodness!
They still said it wasn't like ready, and they wanted to send us home again. And we're just like, okay, like we're not. This isn't a twofer. Like, we're not going back to back here. So, but long delivery, but everyone ended up okay.
No regrets looking. No regrets looking at your wife being torn apart or cutting a piece of your kid.
I didn't look, and no regrets from the cut.
Oh, you didn't look.
Oh, you
I
did
thought
look.
you
I
did.
said you did. Okay.
No.
Were you nervous cutting the cord? Because I refused to. I asked for left-handed scissors. They said they didn't have any, and I was like, I do not trust myself.
Southpaw.
So were you nervous?
No,
Okay.
they had everything pretty foolproof, idiot-proof there with the cord. The one thing during childbirth, when she was obviously in stress and in pain, and she was amazing during all of it, was my natural dumbass reaction to my wife when she's in distress is to try to make her laugh, like any way possible.
Right.
No, that wasn't the time.
No.
That wasn't the time to try to do stupid, dumb, idiot Adam jokes. So I'm like standing there, and I'm trying to figure out a way to be supportive, and I just ended up sounding like a bullshit JV coach. All right, let's go. You got it. Like, come on, sweetie. Keep going. It's almost there. And that felt a little awkward on my end, because I knew, like, I wanted to try to make her laugh, but can't whip out the stand-up routine in that situation.
The old Barstool blogger comes out, and you're trying to rip jokes. And my wife said, she goes, "You were never funnier to me than you were when I had my stitches in." And she's like, "Oh, stop making me laugh!" Like, and I don't know what it is. So it's nice just to hear them laugh at my jokes one time in my life. So
the second one made me out to be a hardo, because we asked this because of me. Will you spend the night in the hospital? Because I didn't. I didn't spend the night. I went home. I told people my neighbors were gone for 2 weeks, So I left the hospital, and Annie was still in there, and she had a C-section. She was pretty well drugged up. And I went to my neighbor's yard, and I turned on their barbecue. I cooked a ribeye, and I opened up a bottle of wine. I went swimming in their pool. I didn't have a pool, and I came out, I had a steak and a bottle of wine. I went in, I had to sleep in my life, and I went there the next morning with breakfast, and I was a fucking hero compared to people's horror stories, like Willie having to spend time essentially, sleeping on an ottoman. Yeah. So did you spend the night in the hospital?
Yes, I spent.
Everybody does, because you're not men like me.
Hospital. Yeah, I spent 3 nights in the hospital.
Did you?
Yeah.
Comfortable?
What do you think? I was not sleeping in my own bed after a T-bone and a dip in my neighbor's pool.
I wanted to ask because you three are way bigger than me. I'm by far the smallest in this foursome here.
The video's incredible. I can't wait to see what the video looks
like.
How the
hell did you guys fit on those?
Oh, they don't.
Because I barely fit.
Yeah, you don't. Okay. And they don't care about you.
No.
You don't.
They don't care about you.
I did sleep through nurses coming in, though. Like snoring as nurses came in. Yeah. And my wife, the nurse was like, is this for real? My wife's like, I don't know what to tell you.
And the worst part is you can't complain because the person you're going to complain to is like, I just had a human ripped out of me and I am.
Oh, yeah.
I tried complaining once and that was a bigger mistake than having a second kid.
The only thing, and the hospital we were at was great. It's like world renowned, but they didn't have a nursery, which I'm not sure if you guys had one, but we were with the kid like the whole time. Like once thank God everything was like okay with the delivery, but they left 15 minutes after, and we're just like sitting there like,
now what?
Like what do we do now? And just like having a night. So next delivery we might have a hospital where there's a nursery and just kind of let the wife relax and things calm down a little bit.
Well, you said and I went back. You said that you guys weren't vaccinated at that point, so you couldn't leave. You had to kind of just stay locked in the room. And
we were vaccinated, but the policy was you had to once you were there.
Gotcha.
So we couldn't leave.
And then I didn't know you said that the nursery was like not a thing. I wonder because we had nurseries everywhere we went, but you did say that and I said
no, not a thing. The kid was just with us.
And you guys know this, right? When you're in that hospital, when that kid goes to the nursery, like enjoy every single second of it because it's like the one time you get a break, and then once you go home with the kid, you're not getting. People are gonna come over their house, they're gonna hold the baby, do that kind of stuff. But that kid is yours for the rest of your damn life. Third question. What will be the first social media post, announcing Simba to the world? Do you remember what you put up, or did the wifey put it up? Was there a conversation of how it was going to be put up, the timing?
What ended up happening was I put up a photo of the first time I held him. That was the first and only photo of him put out there.
In the hospital?
In the hospital.
Okay.
Just like initial holding, like kind of like football.
Sure.
Beforehand, I would be surprised that I did that, to be honest with you.
Putting him out there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is weird. Like, you see, when you hear about these, like that kid Ryan, who makes $5 million a year, and like, I can't wait to have kids, so I'll exploit them. And then I don't even want to put a picture of them out there. It just feels like the internet is a big, bad place, as we know, because we work at the goddamn Barstool Sports.
Yeah, the only reason I kind of put that out there is because, like, it's a newborn, and, like, it's not... It's him, but it's not, what he's going to be. It's a baby,
And the other side of it too is, we all get the comments and all the vitriol of the commenters or whoever may not like you. It's the one time like you really feel like a part of the community. All the stoolies are chipping in, and it makes you feel great as you're fighting off the sleep deprivation of a newborn child in your life. Did Clip Baked Smits, did he put anything up, or did he say anything?
He gave a hat tip.
Oh, that's good. That's
good.
Yeah,
he gave a hat tip. God forbid he'll send cigars or anything. That piece of shit.
I would say, is he going to send a first birthday gift?
We'll see. He'll probably show up as the magician.
What do you think will be the toughest part about having a newborn is the next question we asked you. What do you think will be the toughest? What did he say?
What do you say? And then what did he say?
Yeah.
He said, worrying about the kid being alive, always checking to make sure it's breathing
right.
and all that. And I said, that is completely not like Reags, too. Like you're always going in there, looking in the crib. You're like, please don't wake up, but you're just making sure you see that little rocking in the belly.
And then at 2 years old, you just don't even turn on the monitor anymore. Like, they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I could see, and that is still a concern. It'll always be a concern, but the biggest change has been the life that we had compared to the life we have now. Not necessarily it's a bad thing, but we don't have the life is him.
Yeah,
but
it's different.
Yeah,
it is different.
Definitely different, and you know, it affects everything. Affects like what you're able to do, like what you're going into work for. Affects the marriage to a certain degree, and it's nothing like bad, but it's just different.
I always say, man, that the person you are before kids to after, that person's dead, and it's just a different thing. It's not a bad thing, but it's just you have to.
The amount that I don't care anymore about things outside of the family is incredible. Like my physical sense, like I try to take care of myself a little bit better, but like I'm a butt crack guy now. Whenever I bend over, I don't give a shit if my ass is out. Like I'm just a butt crack. I'm holding them, my butt crack's out. Like okay, deal with it. I don't care. You want to look. Before my pants will be up.
Yep.
It's like I stopped caring about what I wear.
Yeah.
Like fashion-wise, like, no, listen, I'm comfortable wearing a soccer jersey, a hoodie, and sweatpants. That's what I'm fucking wearing.
There's a reason why dad shoes exist. There's a reason why there's an entire market. It's like, I don't give a fuck. These things are comfortable. They look good enough. And
that's
I'm
the
ready
key.
to rock.
You have to just look good enough.
Good enough.
Good
and
enough.
Everything everything isn't hard. Now, granted, every situation's different, but like with the kid, everything isn't hard. It's just so outrageously consistent. And there's no break. If there's anything I give credit to, it's the single like moms or single dads out there who have to deal with this
100%
every single day. And I don't know how. I honestly don't know how.
Like, yeah, it just doesn't shatter your mind. And then like the teen moms and stuff like that. Like when people are like, God
like we have a great situation. I have a great job. She has a great job. We have family. Both of our parents are within 10 miles. And there's still times they're just like, what the shit? I can't fathom.
Now imagine
like
trying to do it when you're 20, 21.
yeah,
like,
and you still get to be like, at least I lived that life. Those people didn't get to live that life, and they know everyone knows that your 20s and your college years are supposed to be great. How will you split up the duties while at home with the baby? 50-50? She takes more, you take more. You said it would be about 50-50, give or take.
Yeah, it's pretty much 50-50.
Really?
There are some 50-50 with what I'm allowed to do that makes her feel comfortable. I will do whatever I can to help, but there are some things that she either gets anxious or worried about that she just wants to do, and that's fine.
Yep.
How long do you think it was before your first argument after birth? And you might have had an argument in the nursery, but you know that's an argument you're going to let her win. I mean, an argument when you actually dig in. It was a two-part question. When's the first argument that you're going to have after childbirth? When's the first lovemaking session? Again, you had said, what did you say?
His the argument was going to be probably when he's cutting the cord. It'll be ASAP.
Yeah.
And then the lovemaking was going to be ASAP whenever she's ready to rock.
She's still holding out?
No, that was, I mean, health-wise, like it took a bit, but everything's back to normal
Cool.
now. But with the argument, when I was like ready to give my opinion back, I would say probably like a month in when I had to do with sleep and how like maybe we should like allow him to, fight it off a little bit more, and which was difficult for me to do.
Yep.
And I wouldn't even call it an argument, just more of a back and forth. And 8 months in, he still wasn't sleeping. So and neither of us won.
Little announcement for the show too. Kate's going to come on and talk sleep with us in the coming weeks. I saw there was no life in her eyes, as she was saying, I got to come on the Podfathers and talk sleep. I said, Kate, you can come on. I basically offered her the show if she just wanted it.
She has the first birthday this weekend, and she's going down to Kansas. So she's spending most of the week down in Naples with the baby, with Pat, and with her family, and then leaving the baby with her family and going to the wedding.
That's the move.
So that's going to get pretty fucking ugly. Yeah, at the wedding. So I'm looking forward to that.
I have a question for you guys based on your last question to somebody about the fight. Did you guys have any magical words that initiated one of those early fights? Like for me, it was, why are we doing it that way?
Right.
And that was, those were just the magical words. Do you guys remember, did you two have any ones that had the one thing that really set it over, like the one sentence?
Spiteful. My wife's like, oh, you're just being spiteful. I'm like, spiteful? I got no horse in this fucking race. You know what I mean? But you spend so long saying yes, dear, after that. Because like you said, she just went through something that we don't want to go through. So she gets to win. But how long does it last? We've had this question a lot. And then sometimes, at one point, I think I was like 6 to 8 months into it. I was like, fuck it, I'm digging in. You know what I mean? And you remind me of your mother. Like, or something stupid like that. So we had a blowout one. And then later that night, we made love.
There you go.
Yeah. So that
There
was,
you go.
so that was the whole thing.
Next one comes, let's see. What do you think will be the most important gift you've gotten so far, either at the shower or in general, the biggest help? And your answer at the time was there was a nightlight sound machine that you said was you were already using it before the baby was born.
Oh, yeah. I love that thing.
Sound machines are so fucking good.
I love baby gifts. Like, I love baby towels. I love baby blankets, you know.
Yeah.
Even the small ones, you put them across your fucking face.
Baby powder?
Oh, baby powder. Yeah, I'm covered in it now.
I would say for the first 10 months, and he's outgrew it, probably his bouncy.
Oh, yeah, those are crack.
Just let him go. And after that, his we call it a bulldozer. He just goes nuts.
Right.
The circular.
Yeah. Those were nice because you can just put them down and kind of, do something. Anything for even a little bit, but for the most part, I mean, just general crib.
You kind of answered the next one with you guys getting help because you have the in-laws and your parents not too far away. So I'm going to skip to how long after having the kid do you think you'll be able to get away for a weekend without him or her?
You said ASAP. You said you'll just be able to drop him, fucking put a bottle in the corner and he'll be ready to rock.
Yeah.
Have you gotten away?
We I'd like to say 3 months in, we went out with a couple people, like a brother and a few people in Philly, had a night at a hotel. Since then, it was supposed to be Kansa's wedding, where we had a plan. But no, that's been tough. She's breastfeeding, so between that, like stocking up, and just the guilt of getting away. Not just her, me too. Like it's tough. It's tough to plan.
So 3 months was she checking the phone the whole time, doing all that stuff?
No, that was actually an enjoyable night out.
She was able to let go. Good.
Yeah, we kind of went out and just got absolutely bundled.
Did it help going out with her family?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, and friends. But it's the planning process is tough and almost seems like the means don't justify the ends for us because we're like homebodies when it comes to it. Like, and I think once he gets older, we branch out a little more, go back to hobbies and stuff. But we're pretty content with hanging more than I thought we would be, to be honest with you.
And again, that's all part of it, the changes. And then if you have two, once you have two in the world, everything changes again.
So will you try to get out a bunch before the second one comes? Will you try to go to places where your wife can watch you drink before all of a sudden the second one comes and everything changes?
Oh, yeah. So we moved to the suburbs recently. We live in a golf community. I'm golfing every single day.
Trying to get it in?
My college roommate lives in the same neighborhood. I'm down on his street. What was it, 2 weeks ago? I think all the dads went out to the bar at like 3 a.m. So it's like all that. She's like, just do it now. Like, just do it now. And like, I try to separate it. Friday night, stay in. Saturday night, go out. Friday night, or we go to dinner Friday. I go out, do whatever on Saturday on my own. Watch a Kentucky game with my buddies, and then go out to the bar. But it's a balancing act because, I'll be like, hey, why don't you go out with the girls and I'll keep him for the night? Yep. Which then just results in me just texting her 1,000 times, like, how do I get this kid to sleep because he's asking for you? So it's tough because we're a complete opposite of you, where we have the closest family members 2 hours away. Yeah. So it's a little different where we got so used to having him. We recently got the babysitter, and now it's like Sunday dinner. My wife's texting the babysitter like, hey, are you free? Because we're not taking him. She wants to go out even on her own too.
That's great that you do that. But I will tell you,
that's my biggest part of advice to any parent is just try one night. It's a sanity thing. If it works, it works. Yeah, it's a sanity thing.
But I will tell you too that if your parents are close by, and all of a sudden you say to your lovely wife, listen, you've had a lot. I'm going to take care of the kid. Go do whatever, girls' night, spa night, whatever. And then she finds out that she leaves at 5:05 and your mom shows up at 5:07 and you left at 5:09, then that's fucking no bueno. Like, she's got to see a little bit of sweat when you get back. You know what I mean? Like,
bring them to your parents' house. That's
unless you both pawn them off. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially at that 1-year-old stage, more so than a 2.5, 3.
Yeah, 2.5, it's mostly just we don't want to deal with a kid running around instead of crying. Like, he wants to play with everything. So
I got that like 2 weekends ago. She works Saturday morning. She goes to the vet clinic. My parents wanted to stop by. What am I supposed to do? Say no, Nanny Pop? Yes, come by. Yeah. Come on.
Someone called that a veteran move. That's all I know, right?
How was the kid? I don't know. I went to go see Batman.
I didn't do that. Maybe I showered and sat down in there for a good 2 hours. But
last one, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the hardest, and barring any emergencies, obviously happy and healthy, how difficult do you think having a newborn will be? And your answer was a 6. The infamous McMahon said a 2, which angered us deep into our souls.
Mick was so fucking cocky.
He probably still would say that too.
Yeah, I think he might have said like 1. I don't know what I was talking about. Yeah.
And then Willie had said something too, and Willie had 2 nannies.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it was so fucking skewed.
Code, yeah.
It's such a skewed number.
I'd say that's pretty accurate. 6, maybe a 7. I didn't realize seeing the physical and mental toll that it would take on her would be as difficult as it was, which makes me feel outrageously guilty.
Yep.
And I just want her to be okay, but overall it's worth it. Everyone's happy and healthy, so it's good, but it's definitely not easy.
No. And I think you said at the time too. I think you said like I feel like I'm going to be even more impressed with like my mom seeing her, and that 100%. Is one thing that is always consistent. You feel 100%. Bad about everything you did as a kid that kind of like might have been shitty, and then you just feel like I can't believe my parents feel about me the way I feel about this little creature.
I had that come to moment with my father where I was bitching about something Camden was doing, and my dad just looked at me dead face, just said, "Welcome to the last 35 fucking years." And I was like, yeah, I get it, man. Like, I apologize. And he's just like, listen, like, you can talk to me. Just know that you did everything you're going to complain about, just like I did everything that my father complained about. And it's true. Like, you put it perfectly, Smitty, of how you feel with, like, you can't do much in terms of the feeling, but it's a true come-to moment when it happens.
I will tell you right now, my oldest is 17. We did the fashion show yesterday. We Ubered to the fashion show because there were so many cars there. We knew it would be kind of a hassle. And my son, since he was in the show, he got shuttled to and from his high school. After the show was over, Annie and I stayed for drinks with the moms and the dads who put the thing together. Mick went home on the shuttle to where his car was. 2 hours later, he came and he picked us up. And not because neither of us could drive, because neither of us had our car, and we were both drinking. Yeah. And it was one of the greatest feelings in the world. It was nice to have a fucking chauffeur.
You started getting to the friend feeling versus the father-son, parent-child,
I mean, I still would not get to a point where he had to pour me into the back seat.
Right.
Or anything like that. I'm not going to use him on St. Patrick's Day, maybe. But it really was. It's a watershed moment.
Yep, that's awesome. So, and then the way we ended the podcast is we said, hopefully we could do this, the recap a year later in person. And here we are in fucking person. So I know Smitty has to go home and take care of this kid now. So we'll let him go. We'll the three of us will wrap it up. But thanks, Smit. That was awesome. And best of luck the rest of the way. Be smart with that for 1 year birthday party. I want you to see 2 for the little man at this point. All right. So before we get on to the rest of the show, we're going to send it to our boy, Uncle Chapsy, here for an ad. All right, thank you, Daddy Boy Chapsy. We're back in New York. It's me, it's the big man, and we got Reagsy here. Smitty is running back to Philly, wherever the hell he's from. The fancy. Oh, when he hit that basketball pole, did you see that video? Yes. That's one. I mean, that is pure Smitty at his absolute zenith, and it's not even by
one of the most underrated like Barstool videos.
Yes.
Is that because it's just a perfectly pure clip.
Yes, it's as pure as you can get. Dave talked the other day about just shooting with your iPhone. Like, that's the kind of stuff that happens when you just shoot with your iPhone, and he's like just gushing blood by the end. And like you said, as a dad, I don't care anymore. Who gives a shit? If he had blood on his shirt, you just probably wear that shirt again. Might be your lawn mowing shirt, but that shit ain't going nowhere.
That's important though. That's one of the most important shirts you can have.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah, big time. So I said with Reags in town, this is March. Tis the season for vasectomies. I got mine done this summer like an idiot. But for anyone, if you're a football fan, get it done. Maybe like divisional round weekend? They say is the best week in the season.
That'd be a good one.
Or opening weekend if you're into that. Obviously, college hoops is always a big one. You can just take the days off, Thursday and Friday. Masters weekend, that was another good one.
Oscars weekend, you can watch the red carpet and the actual
get it all done there. So Large came with me for mine, and I wish you had stayed. It's such a light procedure that Large could have stayed in the room. They said, "Yeah, man, you can stay," and he didn't feel, I don't think, comfortable.
I was terrified. So I went in there, and I knew that in between me dropping you off and me picking you up, I had to go to Petco to get you the dog collar.
Yeah, we're
making
contact.
Non-lick collars. But when we got in there, Clem had already switched into a surgical gown, and I was still there in the room. So I turned around as Clem was changing. I looked at you through the mirror, and then he sat down on the thing, And I said, oh, do I need to go? And the guy's like, no, just stay out of the way. I said, excuse me, are you saying that I can stay here for the whole thing? And the guy's like, yeah, absolutely. I thought like even from a fucking... And this wasn't Joe's house of vasectomies.
Yeah, right.
It was a real
legitimate.
doctor in a real place, in a real neighborhood. And I said, oh, no, he called my bluff. I was like, no, and I ran out of there. I scurried out of there like a scared little mouse. I didn't want to smell like your vas deferens being fucking cauterized.
Yes.
That's my fear. So I plan on getting a vasectomy. I'm
Yes.
done after 2. So as long
Good
as
wise man.
as long
He's
as this
finally
baby
learning
comes out
something.
healthy,
Yep.
I'm done. That my wife knows. This is not breaking news to her when she's listening. My fear though is everything you said. I don't handle medical procedures well. And well, I'm a pussy.
Yeah.
So like you went through with it, you said you were fear. Calm my fears is basically what I'm begging you to do.
I honestly think they make vasectomy such a big deal. So then you say, listen, the wife, you get it with the kids and you had to live that. I'm so sorry I did this to you. We made this beautiful child together. I honestly think they make it seem like it's such a big deal just so then the guys get a little bit of that upper hand back before there's no more kids to ever have to worry about.
Guilt factor goes away a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, if I could I stayed awake during the procedure, and they say like I think the majority of people stay awake during the procedure. You don't go under. You could have your big oversized friend in the room with you, so it's clearly nothing that's
crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that feels like a precautionary thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe they thought we were life partners. That's the only thing I could say, because I don't think they knew we were Clement Large from Barstool.
No,
and it was brought to you by Manscaped. Like I knew that wasn't one of
You
it.
guys are still life partners.
Yeah.
Large.
But it's just nothing but liability.
Yeah.
So I haven't had it done. But I will tell you that I think one of the reasons why it's such a walk in the park now is because the technology has gotten better in the past 15 years. Like I'm
That's fair.
50 years old.
Yeah.
I think the first colonoscopy I had, I was 21 because I was having some problems. I was 21 years old. I had a colonoscopy. And I can tell you the one that I had 6 months ago versus the one I had when I was 21, I felt like they used a fucking periscope the first time. And the other time, like I can't wait to get next colonoscopy because of that shit, the propofol. The stuff they put in your arm.
Yeah.
I've only had one colonoscopy. I was 18. Same thing. I was having problems. It was 2005.
Right.
I haven't had one because I'm 35. 5 years from now, I'll start getting them or whatever. But
Yeah.
Is that thing Michael Jackson, the propofol?
Propofol, yeah.
That makes you feel good.
Oh,
Ooh,
it's
does that
fucking
make you feel good?
mother's milk. So mine was like 94. Like, you know what I mean? So between 94 and, wow, I'm old.
I'm talking fucking Ewing and Oakley and Mace going to the
So
finals.
30 years since then, like, and I tell people, go get one. Like, my dad hasn't had one.
right.
My dad's 75 years old. But I tell people, go get one. It's a walk in the park. And so I assume that's what the technology has become with the vasectomies.
And that's a fair point. So, yeah, in terms of going in, you feel like there is a needle. It fucking hurts for like 2 seconds like most needles do, right? And other than that, though, good numbing. And he's like, listen, if you feel anything, and the entire time you're like, oh, God, I'm just waiting for that searing pain of the spot where the juice didn't get to. Never had that the entire time. The worst part about it is what you said, the smell of smelling your body being like soldered or whatever, and smelling it in the air. That kind of just fucked me up just knowing that. But other than that, all I could do, I just felt the tugging. It felt like there was, I said, like a raccoon in my fucking scrotum, just kind of just moving shit around.
In a good way.
In a good way. In only the best way. No.
Raccoon.
But it doesn't hurt at all. You don't feel a thing, and you just kind of like, you just know there's something going on down there, and it's such a little mind fuck. There's no other way to put it. But you know what? Like, when push comes to shove, whether it's you're able to, not have to worry about a second kid, if your wife can get off the pill or whatever she's on, or all those different kind of things, the pros outweigh the cons so much. I believe shaving yourself is a good way to,
Yes.
Manscaped or any other razors want to advertise on the show. We can promote those in the future, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, like 6 months from now.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Exactly.
The Norelco One Touch. The Norelco One Touch is also one of the ones that's very good.
What do you use on the head?
I use a Remington.
You use a Remington on the head.
Oh, okay. I go straight edge.
No, every day. I've never used, except for 1 or 2 times I've gone to a barber, I've never used anything but an electric razor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or on my face either.
And the biggest thing I can say to gentlemen thinking about getting this procedure done is empty out the chambers before you go. Right?
That's what I've heard.
So this is the thing. At least with my procedure, they said once it's done, you cannot release down low. You cannot ejaculate, whatever term you want to use. Bust. For if you do, I think within a week. it could reverse the surgery. It could basically open up the tubes and then they fuse together and then you're back to square one. So you're like, there's no fucking way I want to do that. And then I find out that it ended up getting reversed 6 months down the road when we have number 3 on the way, right? Like that's the nightmare.
My
scenario.
buddy had that scare.
Did he? Oh,
Vasectomy after the second kid. The 2 days after the vasectomy, his wife comes up. I'm late.
Oh, boy. Yep.
And it was just, luckily it was not just a scare. And he was like, how? Like how?
We had one of those, I think, on the podcast. I had one, and then Large had one. You had one with Annie recently. Now, Large has never had a vasectomy, but I had one with Wifey, and thank God it was. That's all it was just a scare. But I mean, you guys know how it is. If you just need to get something out and you can't do it, your brain starts playing tricks on you. You're not like Costanza. You don't learn how to fucking do quantum physics or anything. You're just ready to fucking punch through a wall, go juggernaut on the bitch, the wall that is. So that's the number one thing I recommend to people. And 2, they always say get frozen peas, all that kind of stuff. I'll tell you, man, those frozen peas on the dick it just feels so good sitting on those peas. I said I was going to start doing it as a thing. Large was nice enough to bring me the peas from Stu Leonard's, and I think we sat on the peas. So it was an absolute delight just sitting. I'm going to start blogging as I sit on peas. I think better that way. So those are basically the thing. And again, that was the third. Do not exert yourself. You're going to feel good. You'll probably be on some sort of meds or just a high from it all being over. And then you're going to just I went out. I think I went to get lunch. I just went out, drove out instead of just sitting in, doing nothing, getting delivery if I had to eat and just having someone wait on me. Went out, said I feel good. And 3 days later, I was sore, and I was like, that was from, I felt like the if you lift up or you kind of pull, it tugs. No bueno. So just fucking take it easy. You during your March Madness, your Masters, your fucking Oscars, red carpet, where they have to do the least amount of activity possible. And again, your buddy, if he's had it, be like, hey man, it was really tough, right? Yeah, and make sure he says that around the wife.
You want everyone,
so then your wife knows just how much suffering and pain you're going through. That is a very big
The person that reveals to women just how easy it is a fucking hard on. Like the guy who does goes to your wife the week before and says, by the way, don't buy it. This is fucking a walk in the park. This is like you getting a pap smear. The guy who does that is he's an enemy of the state.
I think if we publicly fought him,
it
would be everyone would enjoy,
exactly.
be old school, tar and feather him down on the street.
Right. By the way, I've still, and I don't mean to scare you, but I've had guys who've gone in recently and they've had it botched. It hurt, and they've nicked a fucking artery.
So that's my fear.
And it can go, the other way. I'm making all this up.
You know what I mean?
That's my fear. That and the
Yeah.
smell. I heard the smell is awful, and that's my fear. Is that I just sit there and go, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. But I need to just do it.
The smell will never leave my mind. I'll always smell it, but hey, I'll never have to smell a dirty diaper. One of my kids' dirty diapers.
That's
ever again.
All the other kind of stuff, and the sleep deprivation our girl Kate's going through right now. We're going to get in some stories to wrap things up, and the stories are brought to you by Solo Stove. It is springtime outside. It's getting a little warm out. It's fucking, again, I think we had 70s snow, 50s snow all in the last week. It's this lousy Smarch weather. But now I think we're 50s and up the rest of the way. We're looking good. And we have the fucking,
perfect Solo Stove.
That honey of a day is what you always say.
Yep.
St. Patrick's Day on the first day of the tournament, it's the absolute zenith of humanity. And when you go outside in the evening, it's not cold, but it's not warm. It's that perfect way to just go outside and have a fire. And that's why you got to get yourself a Solo Stove. It is the perfect way to upgrade your backyard. Easy to light, Podfather proof, idiot proof, whatever you want to call it. You just throw a little bit of your wood in there. It has fucking Stark technology, gets it going with the way that the air kind of circulation goes in there. Perfectly portable, looks great, stainless steel, and you can take Solo Stove with you on camping trips and more. It has the nice little pouch that Large takes when he heads out.
And you don't get that smell on you, which is key.
No.
It burns clean.
Almost smokeless.
It's cool to the touch, and the embers are almost non-existent. And listen, they sell them in Dick's. They sell them in all these outdoor places, but you will never get them on sale like we get them. Like the 3 cheat thing, 5% off is nice, but Solo Stove, gives us a wacky fucking deal.
And it's not there often, too. So get it now. So shop now and get 30% off Fire Pits all month long and use promo code PODFATHERS at checkout to get an extra $20 off, plus a lifetime warranty and free 30-day returns. Just go to solostove.com, and remember, you get $20 off when you use promo code PODFATHERS. So you can get 30% off, you get the extra $20 off, and again, lifetime warranty if something fucking breaks, or free 30-day returns if you're like, this just isn't for me. No harm, no foul.
Perfect.
That's a basketball term.
I know. This is the Bench Spot podcast I'm on, right?
Get ourselves a high noon. 2 stories here. First one, TikTok went viral the other day. Mom implemented rules in her household. So I want to know what you guys think about the rules, and then if this mom thumbs up or thumbs down. At the age of 13, you're allowed to cuss as long as you use it in the proper context and you do not disrespect adults with it.
I love that there's a proper context because every swear is a proper context.
Yes.
Yes.
Like you can use it. It's an adjective. It's a description. Like it works everywhere. Verb.
So 13 is
7th grade.
8th grade.
I would say. Yeah,
Yeah,
7th,
8th grade. That's about right. I think it's about right for like shit. I'll kick your ass.
Yeah.
Or don't be a douchebag. But I don't know if I can.
What if it's like what the fuck are you talking about?
Right. Or what if your grandmother's in the room?
Well, it said no disrespect to adults.
No, like even if she's there, you know what I mean. Even if
Yeah.
you stub your toe and say fuck, which you can. If it's cold out and you stub your toe,
You're
it
gonna
deserves
say
a
fuck.
fuck.
It hurts. Yeah.
Like I don't know if I want and this is very hypocritical because I curse all the time in front of my kids. It's one of my least favorite things that I do.
So
Like I try
hard
to
not
give
to.
it up. It's so hard not to. So I don't know. Like when you hear your kids cursing for the first time, it's fucking weird. It's weird. Like when my son, he was playing basketball and we had walked in, like, he was in like whatever, talking to his buddies outside as we were walking in, and he didn't see me there. And he get the fuck out of here or something. It was so out of character for him.
Right.
But he does it around his son, around his kids, his friends all the time. So I don't know. Like it maybe some curses.
Just a little caveat. I agree.
Yeah.
There needs to be a caveat. Like no grandparents around
Yeah.
when you say it, because like no disrespecting to adults makes sense. Like
Right.
if your son walked up to me, if he's 13, he's like, "Hey asshole," I'd be like, "What the?" Like like
Reags, how the fuck are you?
yeah, right.
Like,
Like
I don't know. It's
What's
adorable.
up with Kentucky, pussy?
yeah, right. Like I would be so caught off guard.
Yeah.
But I'd sit there and be like, "Listen, like everybody swears."
Yeah.
And it's like everybody poops. Everybody swears.
Yep.
But I agree. You can't swear in front of your grandmother when you're 13.
Right. And like even one side of the family versus the other. Like my side of the family curses a lot.
Yeah.
Versus my wife's side of the family who doesn't curse that often. So you know what I mean? Like it's
true.
different rules for all these different sides. That's a slippery slope.
So
Very slippery slope.
The next one, the mom says, you will say ma'am and you will say sir. You will be respectful. So she's asking to kind of put the
Fuck
respect
you,
in.
ma'am.
Yeah, exactly. Third, her kids aren't allowed to, quote unquote, bother me, talk to me, touch me, nothing until she finished her first cup of coffee. And if they follow that rule, they're fine. See, now I'm starting to like the way this lady's thinking right here.
That's
Now,
the
you're not a coffee
that's-
guy.
That's
No,
the
but
strictest rule I've ever heard.
Yeah, I'm a tea guy. I mean, the most times that my kids bother us is in the morning.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, particularly if they're getting dressed for school and whatnot, or I want this for lunch or something like that. So that's almost an impossibility too. She's a hardo. She's a little bit of a hardo.
A little bit of a hardo.
I remember I got to think about having younger kids too. When my parents had told us, don't bother us on Saturday morning before 8 a.m. Like, we used to have to ask to go downstairs to watch cartoons.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Saturday morning cartoons. Because we would have went down at 6:30.
Yep.
They weren't on at 6:30. Like, they started at 8.
I'm fighting that now. It's
Yeah.
good. Literally, my son wants to. He's not supposed to get out of bed until 7:15. We have like a
Right.
night light that turns on or whatever, like birds chirping. That's when he's supposed to get out of bed. Lately, it's like 6:15. He wants to get either my wife's iPad or go downstairs
Right.
and put on, Mighty Express, Thomas, whatever it might be. And we're like, all right, we gotta get him out of this as fast as possible because it's
perpetual.
yeah.
Like, it doesn't. Like, I think about Christmas morning a lot. Like, we talk about, I want to patent an alarm clock. An alarm clock just for Christmas morning on when you can run downstairs and get your gifts.
Yeah.
Because the kids, again, they want to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
It's like, give me
when
the
you're
7.
up till 3:45 rapping.
They don't know
Right?
that.
You're up till 3:45 building the bike.
Let me just get to 7.
Yeah, 7. And then maybe with the alarm clock, I don't know, maybe stretch it to 9 and you be fucking hardo and you can have your coffee and be down there before them. Like, that's another one where it's almost impossible to sort of, but to say don't touch me until my coffee.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Unless she has her coffee at 5:30 in the morning, I don't see that as being realistic.
I don't like the whole personality around the coffee, like where you need.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I drink a pot of coffee a day. Like, but I'm not gonna. If my son runs up to me as I'm coming down the steps and is like, grabbing my leg or whatever, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, whoa, you gotta wait 10 minutes so Dad has his coffee. It's like, well, give me 10 minutes before I have to let me have a coffee before I have to go do something, essentially.
At least give her it should at least be the choice where if I want to respond, if it's like, you're on fire, okay, I can respond. But again, you're getting the cursing rule, you're getting all that kind of stuff. Last one, once they become 16, they have to get a job, a driver's license, and start paying rent. But the mom will save the rent, and once they move out, she's going to pay it over, give them a nice little nest egg to start. It's one of those things they don't know that she's been saving for them the whole time to use once they move into the real world.
Like again, once they turn 16, if you want your kid to be an athlete, he's not getting a job.
I was just about to say
true.
There's 100%.
I didn't get to work. I worked like our high school basketball camp and a couple weeks in the summer, like as a in the restaurant, as like a bar back or whatever. But that's because that's the only time I wasn't playing basketball or traveling for basketball and whatnot. It's impossible. It's impossible to hear that.
We did it. So my kids have both, the boys, because the other one's only 11, have both had jobs, multiple jobs. So we were able to do this, and that's what Mick, won a state championship in football sophomore year, and a state champion in basketball senior year. But he still was able to, whatever his off season was, especially when he quit football, he was able to do it. But I'm telling you right now, as these things are getting worse and worse, and as more and more people are making money coaching your kids, like these fucking camps and shit like that, like you're talking about, it is impossible if you want your kid to play 2 sports and also have a job before college. Yeah, I could see that. And the whole idea of keeping it for them, and by the time they turn, whatever, and having that gift for them, that's a very sweet idea. But have you seen it happen? Do you know of anyone who's ever done that where it's gotten a check?
Here's my other thing. How much money are you making at 16? You're right. You're making minimum wage.
Yes.
Maybe you're getting tips if you're a waiter. You're paying for gas.
100%.
Like if you have a car,
especially now,
your rent's gonna be, and you're gonna pay for rent. You have 34 cents left over. Like, congrats on that nest egg.
Best intentions.
Right.
She does have best intentions.
Best intentions, failure to produce.
Yeah. Like maybe some sort of savings account is a good idea.
Yes.
Like I still rob my kids' cards. Every time I get a card, $10 or $15, I buy pizza with it. And they can eat the pizza, but they can know that they also paid for it. I love it. Nothing's as delicious as when you steal money from your kids. So perhaps there's something like that you can do. But otherwise, she's shooting for the stars.
Yes.
So maybe she lands among the clouds and the kid has a part-time job during the summer. Where he's a lifeguard or something.
Gets like $1,000 over the summer.
100%.
Yeah.
Then he
500
decides
goes
to
to
kick
rent.
back.
500.
Yeah. Then the second story, assistant principal. I blogged this the other day. The assistant principal at a Mississippi elementary school was fired last week for reading the children's book "I Need a New Butt" to a second grade class. Toby Price is the name of the guy. He was told that it was a Zoom class. The principal was supposed to show up and read. Didn't show up, so he was instructed to read them a book in the meantime. Said, hey, read a book. Said, I chose one of my favorites. I need a new butt. Whoa. The ghost of Smitty just came into the room. Price was the assistant principal for 3 years. And he said he read the book at previous schools, never had a problem. Minutes after the class ended, he was called to the principal's office, which is hilarious. The assistant principal.
Crazy.
And told the parents might complain. He was told to report to the district office. Once he went there, told him he had been axed and was said it was inappropriate. The book was inappropriate because he used the words butt and fart and included the cartoon images of a child's butt. So basically, long story short, got fired for reading I Need a New Butt, which if you go on Amazon, it says ages 3 to 7. We're not dealing with anything too crazy or out of this world.
I need a new butt because mine has a crack in it. That's the whole idea.
And that's the whole.
You're going to get a robot butt. You're going to get this, like all that. That's the whole idea behind this. This is the end of the world. This is another end of the world. Third grade?
Second grade.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Second graders make fart jokes.
Second graders are almost like, oh, fart jokes are below me. Like my 3-year-old AJ loves fart jokes, loves butts. That's the reason. And the thing is, he'll go like, hey, Sienna, butt. And then they both laugh for 5 minutes straight. I think this is a complete bullshit thing. And Mississippi, my crazy thing, Mississippi would go the other way and be like, hey, I don't want no foul. But maybe this is like Bible thumping kind of a thing.
It could be, but
There's butts in the Bible, aren't there?
There are a lot of butts in the Bible, Clem. But I think that it's one of those things where what an overreaction too. Like maybe this is a headline that some parents got their pearls clutched by this, maybe. But the fact that this guy was fired is honestly, I couldn't be more disappointed with this fucking shit.
Like if you really like, okay, suspend him for a week. Like, hey, look, we did something. Now get off of our ass. But this is a guy's livelihood.
Imagine being an assistant principal that made it through fucking COVID and all the fucking hoops you have to jump through, and he got fired for reading a fucking children's book.
Joke.
That is brutal, man.
The image though of him having to go to the principal's office as like a 45-year-old is fucking hilarious. I like the
with
laugh.
the book still in his hand too, and he's like has his head down. Like, Mr. Price, please come to the
You
principal's
just practice
office.
trying to spin zone in your head, like, okay, who can I blame this on? Who can I blame this on?
I think if the principal didn't show up and left you high and dry, and then you just kind of scrambled, the principal should be on the hook. That's your fucking boss, almost in a way. It's not like you're fucking. Let's go through the 1978 Playboy here and look at the centerfolds, kids. This is a fucking, a fun book. And again, butt jokes, fart jokes, all that kind of stuff
Age
plays
3
with
to
kids.
7.
Yeah, age 3 to 7.
Come on.
Disappointing, man. So, well, it sounds like we're unanimous.
And the guy has a pretty good sense of humor. Like he did tweet out, I always wanted to be in the New York Times, but not for this. Because the New York Times had it. So it seems like he's not one of those guys. Yeah, because there's also like the creepy teachers. It could be like, I need a new butt. Let me see yours.
Yep.
Like, I don't think it's one of those ones.
No.
So it's, so this is just terrible. Fuck this guy. Fuck
the
school.
We back this guy,
Yeah. This guy can teach. If he wants to teach second graders, he can come up teach Sienna for a day. That sounds kind of weird, but yeah. I have no problem with this guy at all. And again, it says the parents might complain. So I don't know if there was if parents complain, I think every school district is all right. We had 4 complaints. How many of those 4 complaints are from the parents that have complained about everything we've ever done?
Yeah.
3 of them. So then it's 1 real complaint. And is it worth firing a guy over this?
Like his school pictures, like him with Grogu.
Oh, he got a little baby Yo in his picture
Yeah, like
too.
it's sort of.
He
just seems like he's one of those guys that
he legit looks like he just loves being a vice principal.
Yeah.
Like he just, you just see that with like the teachers. You're like, that guy's destined to be a teacher.
Oh wow, they made SNL and everything.
And he said 2 weeks ago, if you would have said I'd be mentioned on NBC's SNL, I would have said you're nuts. And then here he is on it. So, hopefully he gets a new job pretty soon.
I need a new job. That's his new book.
Write a children's book. He should write a children's book right now.
There you go. Children's books where the money's at. You can get anything for kids, man. Just fucking do that, and exhausted parents will pay for it. But yeah,
that's his GoFundMe. So GoFundMe.com. It's I need a new job, but I have to pay bills. That's the name of it. So the guy's name is Toby Price. Toby Price. And if you go to GoFundMe, you can get
what number are we at? Click on the link. Let's see what number we're at right now.
Where we are.
Toby Price, Mr. Price. And again, this strikes me as like there's a principal.
$90,000.
$90,000.
He's got 90 grand so far. Good for him.
Did he think he quit and just had actively used? That's not like a little GoFundMe scam. Never heard of it.
Yeah, 90,000 as a grammar school teacher in Mississippi.
Year and a half salary.
I think so. Yeah. Good for him.
Not too fucking shabby at all. So yeah, shout out, Mr. Price again.
He's got 2 older kids with autism. I mean, this fucking guy needs a job.
Yeah.
This is. I'm ready to rebuke.
The superintendent should be fired.
I need to find the fucking parents that decided to die on this hill.
I'll tell you what.
Because they can eat a dick.
I would rebuke the entire state of Mississippi.
You want to do that in the office with that guy, with the big man? All right,
100%.
I got 2 big men in here with me.
That's true.
Yeah,
I guess so. So make it a tic-tac-toe. 3 of us are rebuking the state of Mississippi, even if Brandon Walker decides to fight us over it. Because principals, assistant principals, there's enough of them who have had horror stories over the years that make you really dread going to their office. When there's actually a good guy in that office and you fire him over something like this, and he has 2 autistic kids too. God damn it,
that's fucking terrible.
That actually breaks my heart.
A week and a half, and he's got $90,500. So I think this guy's doing okay. Good for him.
I need a new job, but I have bills to pay. And
yes,
like you said, he nailed the title of it. So that's how we'll end it. We'll end rebuking Mississippi and move on from there. We'll see you guys next week. We'll have Daddy Boy Chaps back with us. Reags will be another week closer to another child in his life.
Yep.
Smitty
will be finding out the gender.
Oh,
we're like a week and a half.
I was going to ask if you were going to find
out.
out. Nice. And we talked about it briefly. So you're thinking boy because you know how to deal with boys.
I'm cheering for a boy just because I've already gone through it with a boy, so it's easy. I know what to expect. I don't know I have a sister, but my wife only has a brother. We don't really know life with a younger, raising a girl. So she wants a girl. I want a boy.
I want her to be happy. In the end, that's what you want.
Right.
Girls are awesome anyway. I mean,
all my friends have girls, and they said how easy it is. It's just mentally where I'm like,
this is a no-lose
through
for
it.
it's happy and healthy, 11 toes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The only thing that I like as a girl, as a father, as a girl dad, there's nothing but good things I've had. I just know that the chickens will come home to roost probably during the teenage years. But other than that, it sounds like that is an absolute W. But we'll see you guys next week. As always, stay safe and stay sane.